Okay, you guys. So, welcome to our team Zoom for May 15th, 2018. We've got lots of exciting stuff coming up. So, I'm Tracy Anderson. I'm a Gold Elite 2 from the Seattle, Washington area. And I know we've got new people. We've got people that have been here for a year or more and everything in between. This call is going to be really good for everyone. So we have really some great guests on our Zoom tonight. So we're going to start with Tony Zolecki. So
Yep.
Tony Zolecki, you guys, we're so fortunate to have him looking after us, mentoring us, coaching us, training us. He and his wife Sarah joined actually 5 years ago today, Modere, and they were the part of the team that had the vision for what they were going to take this legacy company of New Ways to Modere and how they want to create a home for everybody. So they're the ones that have had this vision. They know where this company is going. They know how we're going to get there. They've learned plenty along the way. They actually did a really great Facebook Live today. If you haven't seen it, it was about stick and stay. I love that. So if you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch that on their page. It's also on One Voice, I think. So anyway, Tony is going to help us out tonight by sharing more with us about the compensation plan changes that are starting in the United States as of June 1st, and they're going to be coming shortly behind in Canada. Now, we have a lot of Canadians on the Zoom tonight, so we know that it's going to be a little bit different for the next couple months for there. So Tony is going to really address that situation as well so that we're all prepared and know how to strategize with what's coming up. Okay, Tony, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate that warm, kind introduction. Hey, everybody. Super excited to be here. Yes, it's an awesome day for many reasons, but 5 years with this awesome brand, this awesome group of people, it's just been the time of our lives, and we're so grateful for it, and just want to say thank you to everybody on this Zoom because you're a big part of this, just as I am, just as Rick is, Justin Prince is. You're a big part of this, and we couldn't have done it without you. And we're just getting started. So I wanted to dive in a little bit about the comp plan and just kind of really talk a little bit about kind of the strategy, when it's coming in Canada, what you guys got the next couple months. And then I'm going to bring Rick on and talk a little bit about the new comp plan with the promoter bonus and the coding, and really kind of break that down specifically. So I was talking to David Goodman a couple hours ago, and his big thing was this, is that I was like, hey, can't we push half of it or 90% of it through June 1st for Canada? And he says, Tony, here's what we want to do. He goes, we've already submitted it to the Canadian government, and all the people have it that need to have it right now. And we want to do it the right way where we get approval on the whole shebang. Because he's like, the big thing is this code, and you're going to hear about it from Rick in a little bit. But he goes, we want to make sure that it's done professionally, it's done by their rules and regulations, it's done in the order they want it done, so that when the approval comes, it's the whole shebang, we implement it, and we go from there. So he was saying basically June and July, when it rolls out here in the U.S., Canada is going to have the plan that we have today in May. You will have that for June and July. So a couple things there is like, you still have the high cabs, right? The 60%, you can still go get a bunch of new customers and max out that cab. But here's what's interesting is that, when we do switch over, the reorder rate, the percentages go up on the new plan. So take advantage of the current promoter plan still in June and July. Go get mass customers. And then by the time it switches over, as they stay on the product, your reorder rate goes up with the new plan. So it's a really kind of a cool strategy. And you want to follow the strategy of what we're doing in the U.S. And that strategy has been this. Get as many people to D1 as possible, because that's where the code starts. You want to be doing that just the way we're doing it now. You're going to have a couple more months to do it, though. D1 still. And then you also want to make sure you're at the highest rank you possibly can be at, whether it's D1, D2, D3, E1, E2, E3, in the next 90 days going into August, because, that's where you're going to lock in for your cab. And when it's approved in Canada, and then you're going to be able to really max out, that cab bonus Rick talks about. So D1 and get to your highest rank as well. You also want to recruit heavy right now as well. I mean, this is a good time to be recruiting. There's a good buzz about Modere. People are hearing about us more and more. They want to know what social retail is, how they can work. I was talking to a lady an hour ago in Canada, and she was talking to a gentleman who was with a company, but he's frustrated. He's got a team of people. They're looking for a new home, and he's heard about Modere for the last 6 months. Now, here's what's interesting. He's saying, I've been hearing about this brand in Canada the last 6 months, and now I'm talking to you, and you've been doing this for 90 days. Wow, this is awesome. But that's what's going on right now. So recruit heavy right now. It's a good time to recruit. It's a good time to make sure your feelers are out there. You're calling everybody. You're putting us in chats, putting us on Zooms. You know, you're getting Rick and I involved, as well as the other incredible leadership team here with Janine and Anna and Tracy. Use us as much as you can. But you also gives you some time to work on that, you know, those team leader, senior consultant or legs that you need to have too now with the new plan. And Rick will talk about that as well. But here's what I will tell you is you got a little bit more time. So I was talking to David today, and I said, well, what if these guys have a bunch of stuff going on in the U.S.? He goes, well, here's the Canadians are going to get paid on that U.S. business, just like the U.S. comp plan sits in June with the new plan rolling out. But they just won't have to have any of the requirements that, you know, you guys have. So that's kind of cool. So if you have a team and you have people in the U.S., you're going to be paid on those with that U.S. comp plan, but they're not going to look at any requirements from you, you know, based on the requirements we need to have June 1st. So work on that TL, senior consultant leg. If you need to get that, you need to have that. Make sure that your people know about that. They know what that means. They know what that looks like in their business. And it kind of allows you to kind of ease into this plan. You know, we're getting thrown into the fire here in the U.S. June 1st. And you guys get a chance to ease into this, and it's a really good thing for the next couple months. So really take advantage of some of the things I talked about, but just look at this like we're looking at it, where D1s running to the highest rank possible, getting our TL senior consultant legs in place. You guys do all of that and still go get those customers because you got the high cabs and the promoter plan. By the time we switch over, your reorders will go up. I mean, Rick will talk about it. I mean, I was talking to someone today, and I says, on the new plan, a silver gets what a platinum gets today on the reorder rate. So that is really awesome. A silver in the new plan is getting what a platinum gets today in the plan on the reorder. So those percentages go up, and we want the reorder. Just understand this. As we transition to the new plan, it's everything you want for long-term stability, long-term residual income, high, stable, secure checks, people coming in, making money, creating stories faster with duplication, with checks. I mean, all those things we made sure in his advisory board as we made these decisions with the company was in our best interest. Not the Elite Three's best interest, not the company's best interest, but the brand new people getting started, their best interest. And we understand those are the most important people here, because when you launch something like this, you know, they've got to win. Their people have to win. They have to have stories. They have to have growth. They have to have duplication. They have to have that buzz, right? When you really got it going on, there's a buzz, and it's like everyone wants to join the business, and it's really easy to recruit. Well, that's what this new plan is going to allow us to do. So just know that you guys are in a really good situation. You know, David is in communication with the government and with the lawyers and attorneys, and he will fill in the advisory board there in Canada first, you know, and those individuals, and then they'll get it through the organization so you guys know, and things could move faster. You know what I mean? The Canada might come back in a couple weeks and say, let's roll, go for it, guys. And everything we're doing here, I was telling Tracy this earlier, it's no different than other companies, and we're not doing something that's no one's seen before in Canada, and they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? It all aligns. So I'm really confident, and I just like the ease in part for you guys, and you've kind of got still the best of both worlds right now to ease into it, to understand it, to know how to sell it, but then to also take advantage of that promoter side still. And then Rick's going to kind of talk about now some of the things that make the new plan so exciting. And then we'll open it up for questions at the end. So no further ado, let me bring on Platinum Elite 3, Mr. Birthday Boy, Rick Teague.
Yeah, 37 years old today.
Hey, Rick, if I may just ask you real quick, and just in case, when you and I were talking the other day, I didn't really understand what coded bonus meant. And I know you're going to go over the details of what that meant, but if you could kind of wrap a little definition around that for the people who haven't experienced that before. That's easier said than done. But how it's a permanent part of the plan based on your rank at the time rather than something that changes as you rank advance.
Right. Well, the first thing is the code. What we hear is the code, which I guess the technical name for that at Modera is going to be Leadership Mentor Bonus. But you hear the term code and you hear these terms like permanent and lock. So I'll try my best to put that in real simple terms. But like our unilevel, for example, many times, it's based on what rank you hit. And then actually, people on your downline team, they'll do something in the future. And like on LDBs, the percentage you get on, once you're an elite and you've got somebody else in your team that you're getting a leadership development bonus on, it's dependent upon what rank you are, but also what rank they are. So a lot of the bonuses in the plan are kind of in a state of flux, and it's always dependent on what somebody below you does in the future and what rank each of you actually qualify for in a given month, if that makes any sense. What's different about the code is it's all based on what rank the enroller is when they enroll a new person. And whatever that rank is, when they enroll that new person, that's when that level of the code gets assigned between those two people. And once that happens, it's permanent. And from that point forward, it doesn't really matter what happens with the person that just joined, the enrollee. And I don't know if that's registering with people, but there's a permanent consequence to it. And basically what it is determining is kind of the future rights to this little slice of the pie each time there's a first order bonus in that new person's team, if that makes any sense. So the best way I can put it, I always try to come back to a real simple little illustration, hopefully simple. Let's say, Tracy, you're a D1. So you're an existing D1 and you enroll me. The way codes normally work is, in our world, there's a 3% slice of the pie, is what I call it, 3% of the points on that initial order. So if you enroll me, obviously you're going to get a first order bonus, just like you now do. But we're also going to have these 6 other little pieces of the pie that are what we call these coded bonuses. And those aren't going to just go to the enroller. They're going to go to somebody up the line. Well, the D1 slice is a 3% slice. So on a $499 pack, which has 480 points, it's roughly $15. So the first thing happens when you enroll me, if you're a D1 and you enroll me, you don't just get the first order bonus and potentially a doubler. You also get that little 3% of the pie on the pack that I buy. So it's an extra 3% on what, on the pack that I buy that you earn. But more importantly, you're also at that point, you're basically locked to me at the D1 level. I mean, yeah, I'm locked to you because you enroll me, remember? So you're a D1, you enroll me. Well, what that means is, let's say that happens in the month of May, and let's say between now and the month of May, end of May, I go out and build a team of 20 people and hit D1 myself. Well, starting with the next person I enroll past the point I make D1, like if I went and enroll a new person on June the 2nd, that person would be coded to me at the D1 level, but the 20 people that got me to D1 are all coded to you at the D1 level. And that code never changes. So literally all 20 of those people could go E3. in the future, but you get the D1 code on all first order bonuses in all 20 people's entire downline to infinity forever. Those are two big words you hear in the coding world, infinity forever. The only time you wouldn't is when any of those 20 people go D1 themselves and enroll another person past that point. That's when they'd start picking up the D1 code on that person in their team to infinity forever. But the 20 that got me to D1, you would get the D1 code on to infinity forever. That's the way they normally work. But that D1 code is assigned at the point that you enrolled me. So whatever you started the month at, whatever your rank was when you started the month, everybody you enroll in that month is what's going to determine what level you're coded to them at. So for example, if you're an E2 and you went and enrolled a new person, under the normal coding procedure, you would get the E2, the E1, the D3, the D2, and the D1 codes on that person. So you'd get them all on that first order, but you would also get coded at all those levels to that person. And once again, all the people that get them to any one of those given ranks to infinity forever. So you start thinking about that, like let's say you have the E2 code on somebody, just look at just the E2 code. That means all the people that are on their team when they hit E2 that get them to E2, you're getting the E2 slice on every first order bonus on that entire group of people to infinity forever. And the only time you don't is after somebody in that group, let's say it's 1,000 people. It could be 1,000 people that get them to E2. You've got that slice of the pie on all their first order bonuses to infinity forever. The only time you don't is when somebody in that 1,000 people hits E2 themselves and enrolls a new leg past that point. And that's when they get the E2 bonus in the same way. So that can be a lot. Now, what's going on now in the United States, which I think Canada, the only safe assumption is that it could happen. I personally, I hate saying this because there's no guarantees. I'm not corporate. I'm sure not the Canadian government. But I think there's a strong chance that by the time this really happens in the US, which we know is after July is over, so when the codes are going, when you hear this term, they're going to lock, that just means between now and then, it's a special circumstance where you get a chance, like in the scenario I just said, where you're a D1 and you get the D1 code on me and the 20 people that get me to D1, they're going to give me a chance to get to D1 before that happens. You following? So, which is kind of bad for you on the coding side, but get this. This is what I told you when we were in Orlando. Remember, the code is only paid on first order bonuses. It's a one-time bonus when somebody joins the company and buys their enrollment kit. And if you look at the overall big payout piece of the pie, first order bonuses and doublers and coding bonuses are all collectively about 3% of that pie. So the coding bonuses themselves are, in spite of the fact they can be very lucrative and you need to take them very seriously, they're really only about 1.5% of that pie. So let's go back to this example where you enroll me and you're a D1 and I just get started today. Think about it. Would you really care if I went out and got to E3 by the end of July? Because if I did, would you get any code under this arrangement where we're giving everybody a chance to get to the highest rank possible? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't get any code on me if I made E3 by the end of July. But would you get unilevel bonuses? Would you get volume? Would you promote in rank? Would you get leadership development bonuses? Well, guess what? The unilevel and leadership development bonuses, that part of the pie is 40% of the pie. 40%, not 1.5, but 40. So I just want everybody to keep it in perspective. Number one, when we're talking about coding bonuses, if your primary slant is a promoter, like you really, that's where your heart is, that's really what you want to do, and that's why you came here, and it's your desire, then focus on customer acquisition and promoting, and just don't stress out about all this code stuff. It's for builders. It's for people that want to build a team. If you do want to build a team, then by all means take it seriously. I told you in Orlando too, you shouldn't be having to take Ambien because you can't sleep at night and Xanax all day because you've got so much anxiety about this coded bonus thing. But on the other hand, you don't want to just act blasé and nonchalant about it, like it's no big deal. I'll get there if I do, I'll get to D1 if I do, or, if I don't, no big deal. It can be a big deal. I mean, back to the analogy, if you are a D1, you recruit me. If the 20 people that get me to D1 that get coded to you at that level, if just one person in that 20 goes to E3 in the future, it can literally earn you thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, just the D1 code on that group as it expands. So don't take it lightly, and I say all the time, when you have a goal and you put it on paper and you go for it, the real value of that goal is not getting it, it's not hitting it, it's going for it. Because we all know that, number one, you can't hit a target that you don't have or you can't see. So you need to get real crystal clear on what you're aiming for. But at the same by the same token, even if you miss it, if you really go for it all out until it's over, if you really run a 90-day plan between now and the end of July, you're going to be the winner for it. And you're going to have a lot more going on, a lot bigger team, a lot more volume, a lot more momentum going on going into August and then what we call prime time in the fall than you would if you never went for it in the first place, even if you don't make it. So that's the biggest reason. So anyway, that's the code. There's also something called a promoter development bonus. I don't really know how to describe it. Well, I'll give one example. I don't know if any of you, hopefully you've all kind of seen it. I've got, I wish I could just do it on my phone. Hang on. Maybe I can get it. I could do a screen share, but can y'all see that? There? Right there real quick. So just look, I'm not going to leave it there long because it's kind of shaky. But where it says Platinum 3, 100, 100, 100. So it's team leader, director, elite, and then Platinum 3's got 100, 100, 100. So in that scenario, I'm just going to use that as an illustration. That means when there's somebody that's got a Platinum 3 pod, we're going to kick out 3 different bonuses to somebody based on that Platinum 3's pod. So when there's a Platinum 3 in the tree, and this is also going to go up the enroller tree, so it's going to look up line, it's going to find the first team leader or higher, and it's going to pay $100 to that person. And then it's going to look up line past that for the next director or higher, and it's going to pay another 100 to that person. And then it's going to look upline from that to find the next elite or higher. Well, you can't be higher than elite, but the next elite, and it's going to pay another 100 to that person. But here's the kicker. So it's going to pay, it can pay it to 3 different people, the first upline team leader, director, and elite. But let's say the platinum, let's say, Tracy, you've got a Platinum 3 frontline to you. That bonus is going to look up and it's going to say, Tracy gets the team leader, the director, and the elite bonus because she's all 3. So you're going to get $300 because that person is like frontline to you. And if they are frontline to you, nobody can ever like promote to another rank in the middle and intercept part of it, if that makes any sense, or block. current rules. And then you would also get the D1, D2, D3, E1, and E2 slices of the pie, which is roughly another $60 on your personals. I'm just saying when you enroll somebody. So we reduce the first order bonus, but you're also picking up all those codes on your personals as well, which gets you almost back to the same place if your rank's high enough.
This is
comp
great.
plan for all markets. Nope, this comp plan will just be right now for US and Canada. Europe has theirs, Australia has theirs.
All right, you guys. Well, I think we've really covered a lot of ground tonight, and I think that it's okay if you're feeling a little lost. It totally is. We've got time to figure this out, and just have faith that it's all going to be very good for everybody's business. And there are a few little strategies that we'll want to focus on. So let's do some personal coaching calls to help each of you with your strategy, and we'll get ramped up and ready to go for when this locks in.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks you guys.
All right.
Love you guys. I have a little bit of recognition
Thank you.
before everyone hangs up, so you guys don't need to hang on for that, but I just got a few minutes of recognition to do. So thank you, and happy birthday, Rick. Bye, Tony.
All right. Bye.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Thank you.
Say hi to Michelle.
I will.
Love you guys.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye. Right, you guys, that was fantastic. So I know you guys might be feeling a little overwhelmed or confused, but every time I hear it, I start to understand a little bit more. And this is my third time kind of going through it. Anyway, we'll work through all this. But I just want to do our shout outs for this last week. All right, real quick. If you have a few minutes, otherwise I'll be posting them on Facebook too if you need to get running. But Janine wanted to give a shout out to Jackie Ellis. I don't know if Jackie's on here tonight, but she just enrolled on May 6th. She's a brand new social marketer, and she's been super engaged and already has a 3-way call scheduled with Janine tomorrow. She works full-time and has an hour-and-a-half commute each way, and she's still making time to build her business. So wow, good for her, working with the time that she has. So Casey is giving a shout out to Jess Dykstra. So she delivered a baby girl via C-section, you guys, just 2 weeks ago. Congratulations, Jess. And she has a toddler at home and a husband who works away, and she's still 1,000% plugged into her customers and her team. So we admire her dedication and maintaining those relationships when most people would take a break. Good job. I'm so excited for her. So Kristen has a shout out for Megan Mackey. After Kristen posted that we get unlimited mulligans. I love that language. We get unlimited mulligans in this business. We do. We can always restart. And all anyone has to do is ask for help. She reached out for suggestions and has been constantly posting and listening to all the calls or replays and staying engaged. So good job. That's fantastic. So Ashley couldn't be on the call tonight, but she had a shout out for Nicole Leithheiser. I don't know how to say it. Her sister, I think it is. Because she isn't afraid to be her goofy, authentic self and is doing lots of engaging videos and posts to constantly work her business. So good job, Nicole. So Kate has a shout out for Kristen. Is it McNea? She joined during our free enrollment a couple months ago when they waived the enrollment fee. And she's finally in the game and already has silver this month. So that's great. Already at silver, just halfway through the month. Congratulations to Krista. So she's posting consistently and it's paying off. So posting. Stacy has a shout out for Gemma Louise for hitting team leader. Wow, halfway through the month. That's great, Gemma. And Betty Ann has a shout out for Beck Marsh for always being so positive. Maybe a lot of you have seen Beck Marsh, know who she is. She has a lot going on with her son's illness and yet still managed to be the #1 recruiter for April in our whole organization and never ever complains. She's just always positive. And Brett has a shout out for Cindy Wilton for taking the initiative to try and get our lifestyle rewards more focused on promoters. She got out of her comfort zone and reached out to me to collaborate. She did. Cindy put together a great letter, surveyed a lot of people on her team, got some ideas, and she submitted them to me, and I've already submitted them to everyone on the advisory board, and I got great feedback from everybody. So everybody's listening, Cindy, so thanks for taking the time initiative to do that. And I have a shout out for Brett Budge. I don't know if Brett's on tonight. For continuing to take the necessary steps to grow as a leader. Brett and I had some great conversations this week, and she gets out of her comfort zone. She's great in so many areas, but she got out of her comfort zone a little bit this week and did some things that she doesn't normally do. So I want to give that shout out to Brett for doing that. And then we have our top promoters, our top 10. I'm just going to read them off real quick. Number 1 is Mike Miller. Number 2 is Beck Marsh. Number 3 is Ashley Roy. Number 4 is Krista Jensen. Number 5, Barb Mikowski. Number 6, Jill Hancock. Number 7, Christina Yen Lee. Number 8, Krista McNea. I don't know how to say her name. Sorry, Krista. Number 9, Janine Sklarek. Whoop, whoop. And number 10, Nicole Leicester. I need to figure these names out. Anyway, congratulations to all you guys for your hard work. That's all these little things that you do. They're baby steps. I posted this on Facebook this week, you guys. It was so cool. I heard it in a talk that I was listening to, and I kind of pieced it together. But a baby step isn't significant because of the distance it covers. It's significant because it sets your intentions in motion, right? So baby steps are really important. So every little step you take, these little shout outs are all about baby steps. So keep taking them and keep walking, have your, like Rick said, if you know what you're aiming for, it's a lot easier to find your target. So know what you're aiming for and take baby steps towards that every day, you guys. All right. So I'll leave you with that this week. That's if you don't already have a strategy call set up with your upline leader, please get those set up, and we'll get you set up and working towards taking full advantage of the comp plan changes. All right, you guys, thanks for your time tonight, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, ladies. Bye.
Bye.